Everybody. I hope you had a great Labor Day weekend. As promised, I will try and do this. I'm going into it thinking that we're going to do it weekly, but we'll kind of see here. It's sort of a synopsis of last week and a get ready for this week, although I can see you guys are already well ahead of me on week 2, which is just awesome. It seemed like it was a pretty self-explanatory week, so I'm glad you're off to a good start with it. Week 1, again, we did introductions and you guys did your DNP thing. I have all of your little index cards here of me reading through what your posts were, using the rubric on forum posts. I do want to mention I have made some adjustments for week 3. So let's start there. For week 3, you have a forum post that you're going to post, and I've put you into groups. We have 7 of you, so there's an uneven number. So for that week, I have put 3 students together. You will read and critique one another's work, and then the other 4 of you are kind of a grouping as well. And I will try to mix these up that, it's not an unfair kind of workload that 3 students always get 3 to, respond to, and it's the same 3. So I'll try and mix that up as best I can within your cohort of 7, but trying to make it much more manageable than the responding to 6 people. That was part of the rubric, was that you were supposed to respond to all of your peers. And I will make mention that to earn all 5 points, this is the grading rubric from the forum symposiums, or the forum posts, and that's in Moodle. You can read it under rubrics. There's one for forum posts that will help guide you in how do you earn all your points for forum posts. And one of the things is under the response. So again, whether it was this week asking you to respond to all 6 of your peers, or in the future just responding to those that I make mention, to earn all of your points on your response, you need to do the following. You need to respond to a colleague's main post. Responses include both a question and an affirmation. Posts are completed by the designated time. Many of you did quite good when you were responding to your peers about affirmations. It was clear you had read what each other had said, and I really appreciated that. I am going to give a public shout out to which one? I have all my cards right here. Amy Rains, you are my Gold Star Student of the Week here. You asked questions when you were responding to your friends. And again, maybe not on all of them, but the one that I did enjoy that you posted was something as simple as, it was amazing to know that we were, isn't it amazing to know that we are doing our terminal degree, question mark, exclamation. So maybe that's an affirmation, maybe that's a question, but my point being that you're supposed to engage a little bit with your peers too. So affirmations are great, but follow-up questions are helpful in that they continue the dialogue a little bit more. As I said, doing that for a group of 6, and I'm so glad that we have such a big cohort, but you obviously don't respond to yourself, so you respond to 6 others, can be time consuming. And I recognize that, so I'm trying to kind of reduce that burden for you guys a little bit. So enough said on that. I will put those scores in later. Again, you guys got anywhere from 18 out of 20 points to 19 out of 20 to 20 out of 20 points. So again, good job on that. I mainly just did deductions on kind of following the rubric and really not responding to people, scored you some low points. If you didn't follow the prompt of explaining why you did not, why a DNP is different than a medical doctor or a PhD, that could cause some deductions. So again, if you have any questions on the score that you got, feel free to ask, but it was mainly on you did not do responses or you did not fully answer kind of the question. However, I did really enjoy reading them. And again, Brandy, it totally resonated with me. You kind of speaking about having to kind of convince your spouse that this was your last degree. I think Lisa chimed in feeling the same. My spouse was very much the same way of like, you're going back to school again? Like what's going on here? Let's see. Another honorable mention, I think Lisa Helfrich, your post really tugged on the heartstrings. I appreciate the personal nature of what you posted. Um, and I love that you inspired your classmates to kind of renew their faith in themselves, their ability. So again, anytime we can lift one another up just through our honest posts and our honest thoughts is absolutely amazing. Again, Cynthia Wallace, really enjoyed reading what you had to say about school nursing and the benefits of this and what you hope to bring to your school district. Loved all of that. So, words of affirmation. Glad that you're in our program. And again, I just really appreciated kind of hearing you guys's why had you chosen the DMP, and especially why did you choose to do it with Goshen and EMU. So again, I think enough said on your first post. Thank you for that. Week 2, again, like I said, about 3 to 4 of you are already well into doing the stuff for week 2, which is great because it's due in another couple of days. But again, no responses needed this week, so that takes off quite a burden of workload. You are to do 2 activities this week. Let me pop open my tab over here. What the 2 activities are. You're doing a nursing autobiography. So let me pop that open. And again, you're to read your classmates' posts, but you're not obligated to do this or to respond to them. So that is helpful. The autobiography instructions are listed right there for you, so I don't know that I'm going to read them. There is a part A that you have to do, and that kind of gives you 4 different things. And then there's a part B that's optional. But again, I love it. It does make room for the creatives out there that would like to add something a little bit creative to their post. Please go ahead and do so. But again, that's an optional part. And then the most important part of this week is perhaps the nursing self-care plan that you're supposed to come up with. It is my suggestion to you that once that is done, that you might actually want to take the time to print it out or take a screenshot of it or something, as this may be an anchor for you in the coming months and years of kind of, when I set out to do this program, these were the things I was going to put around myself to try to be as successful as I could be in doing this. So again, it's something that's nice to refer back to from time to time. What were the commitments I made to myself early on about how I was going to manage my time, my extra businesses, my kids, my work? How was I going to make space for this DNP to happen? And then the last thing I wanted to share with you guys here going into week 2 was a question posed by Jade. And again, Jade, if you had this question, I think others might have had this question as well. So that's why I'm like, let's talk about this for a little bit. Let me pull this up in the background and then be able to share my screen here with you guys. Right here, share screen. So what I have shared with you is the hours tracking form. Again, each and every one of you has your own folder that has this document plus your essentials document. So I will talk about both of those, but let's start with the hours tracking form. First of all, prior to coming to this doctoral program, you would have worked with either myself or Dr. Cash on getting the previous hours that you earned in your degrees. If you're nurse practitioners, you have well exceeded the 400 hours that we will take as kind of incoming hours. I know you guys do well more than 400 hours to earn your NP degrees. However, myself doing a leadership degree, I brought in 106 hours. So I am short. The goal is to get to 1,000 hours, ladies. So again, you can see at the summary table, you need documentation from your previous degrees that either Dr. Cash or myself have looked over, and you can earn up to 400 hours in that. So again, Jade, I'm just using you as the example here. You're a nurse practitioner. You certainly got 400 hours in your master's program. So go ahead in this document and type in, you got your 400 hours right there, NP or FNP. Then, as you can see, as you guys get into biostats, you are going to get 20 hours in your biostats class just given to you. That's in doing kind of one of your projects. I think it's kind of your final analysis or something like that, that you can put, final analysis, I earn my 20 hours. In your translational science class, you earn another 20 hours. Again, this is in doing your research literature table or something like that, and you get your 20 hours. Organization and systems leadership, I'm sure that this is probably in some of your stakeholder meetings or sort of one of your big deliverables there that you'll earn your 20 hours. So again, here we're being very prescriptive. When you take this class, there's a big project that you're going to do or something that you're going to accomplish that earns you these 20 hours. So again, here in the first 2 years, there are certain classes that you take that are going to help you earn some of these hours. However, the bulk of your 1,000 hours that you earn in this program happen in your 3rd year. And so you can see them here. When you're in Nursing 800, this is a fall class, you will, on your own, be planning what is your project at this point. You're going to record down below in the quarter hour, half hour, 3/4 hour, 1 hour kind of increments. How many hours did I spend getting emails out to people to help get them be a part of this? How much time did I spend finding the right toolkits and looking at different toolkits that I'm going to use as part of my plan? So again, this is where we'll really get into the weeds on how do you record those hours and sort of what counts as hours. But all that to say, for this class, there are no hours attached to it. You're just taking the coursework, so there's nothing to track in this class as far as hours go. For any of you out there that were in the same boat as myself, whether you come from a school nurse track or nursing leadership track, an education track, if you did not provide to either myself or Dr. Cash documentation that added up to 400 hours, then you owe the program some additional hours. And you would want to talk with us about enrolling in this Nursing 690. This is the way that students like myself that do not get to the 400 accumulate those hours by doing extra work. Again, EMU folks, I don't know where you're at with that, so that's something you'll have to talk with Dr. Cash about. I can tell you, as I said, I know that the nurse practitioner students will exceed that, and there may be other programs. I don't know about the school nurses out there, how if you're EMU alumni, how that one was run. So again, just talk with your directors if you're uncertain about where you're at and whether you need additional 690 credits. Again, here's kind of how these things look. Like I said, it's really not until you get down here and you're going to be adding lots and lots and lots and lots of rows. This document, well, it starts out being a 4-page template, will probably end up being closer to maybe 30 pages by the time you're done with actually tracking this. I'm going to stop sharing my screen here for a bit. The other thing is the essentials table. So again, you all have that, and so you have the essentials. That is something at the end of this class, as you're going into winter break or something, I would encourage you, and I'll try and remember to put this into my final video to you. You will want to go into that document at the end of every class and start to think about, okay, I just did Nursing 700. We said at orientation that this one works on essential number 1 and essential number 8, I believe. So you'll really want to be looking at your table under essential 1 and essential 8. Those are the ones that we've kind of earmarked that maybe there's things in this class that you are accomplishing towards those essentials. So think through the class, look through and familiarize yourself with what are the essentials. If I've hit other things outside of essential 1 and essential 8, then great. Give me credit for that. We talked about X, Y, and Z, and I think that actually, works towards essential number 4 or something like that. So it's your document. Each and every one of you is going to put down different things with that. There is not a right or wrong to it. It is simply, as I thought through the program, here is how I kind of met those essentials. What it does for Dr. Cash and I is honestly at the end, if there's something that across the board students are struggling of like, boy, I'm not sure that I ever really got this one. And again, varying degrees. There's going to be ones that we're hammering home time and time again. There's going to be others that maybe just due to your project don't apply quite as much. But the goal is really by the end that hopefully there's something throughout the course of these 3 years that you can say, yeah, here's kind of where I think that was kind of touched on. And maybe we didn't come back to it time and time again, but And we at least sort of made a nod towards it. So that's your essentials table. So again, at the end of this class, get out the essentials table and fill that in. Hours table, we don't need to worry about for right now. And like I said, some of the stuff is pre-populated there. I talked about your groups that I've already assigned for you for week 3. Otherwise, I think that's enough for this video, and I will make a new one for next week. Thank you guys for getting off to a great start. Again, I'm just an email or a text away if you need anything. Take care, have a great week, and I will hopefully connect with you next Monday. Bye all.